Hey guys, welcome back to the show. On today's show, we're going to discuss kitchen cutlery, how to choose the right stuff, what to stay away from, and what to look for when you're buying your kitchen knife set. Very important information here. This is part 3 of our Kitchen Fundamentals series right now on the fear of cooking. Well, welcome back, guys. I want to welcome you to the Fear of Cooking YouTube channel. Again, we are trying to get you over your fear of cooking, to get you in the kitchen and cooking great food without worrying about whether you're doing something wrong or not doing something right. So we try to instill the proper techniques and proper skills into your experience so that you're able to manage your way around the kitchen with no problems and be confident when you're cooking food for your friends and family. So today, like I said, we're going to discuss kitchen cutlery, and there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of choices to make, but there's just a few basic things you really should have in every single kitchen. However, as shocking as this may be, not all kitchen knives are created equal. Some are absolute garbage you should stay away from and run for the hills, and some are absolutely fantastic but might cost you your mortgage. So I want to try to find that in-between spot for you guys. So first of all, kitchen knives are made two ways, either stamped or they're forged. So forged is a much better type of steel than stamped, but with that forged process, you get a little bit higher price in what you're getting as far as the quality of your knives and the cost of your knives. The best steel in the world is going to be German steel and Japanese steel. I have a little bit of both here. I've even got some other little crazy ones we'll talk about here in a minute. But your main knife manufacturers, the ones that are most popular around the world, are going to be like J.A. Hinkles or Zwilling Hinkles, Wüsthof, Shun, Miyabi Kaizen, and Global. So those are the main big boys in the manufacturing world of kitchen cutlery. Now I have my own preferences. I prefer, the majority of my stuff is Hinkles, and I bought this set probably back in 2000, I guess 2000, maybe 2001. I bought this set. And like an idiot that I was back then, not knowing much about anything, the first thing I did was take out this knife and started chopping things up the wrong way and took off the end of my finger. So that was a lot of fun. But this is the Professional S Series. Now, one thing I want to let you know about, like I said, with manufacturers, they have different lines. And, you know, Hinkles and Wüsthof and Global, all these different companies out there, they have their own different lines based on price. So the least expensive ones, you could probably pick up a Hinkles chef knife for about 29 bucks. And it's going to perform like a $29 knife. It's not going to be worth the crap. It's going to, the edge is going to get dulled really quickly, and you're going to be sharpening it constantly doing maintenance on it. And it's just not going to be a great performer. Whereas you jump that up a little bit to like the $89 to $100 mark, and you get one like this, Professional S Series. These, like I said, I've had these for over 20 years now. And this knife is still just as good as it was the day I bought it. A little bit of maintenance, sharpening and honing it every once in a while. It's absolutely perfect for the kitchen. So let me see here. So yeah, you have to just pay attention to the fact that different manufacturers have different lines. So if you go into Walmart, for instance, and you should never, let's just get this out of the way now. Do not buy a knife at Walmart. That is garbage. That's not the buy once, cry once mantra we try to instill here. Buy once, cry once, go find a quality knife, something that's going to last you 20 years, like the stuff you see here, and enjoy that for the lifespan of that knife. If you go into Walmart and you see a Hinkles knife, that is going to be Hinkles' lowest line because they want to get it into a store where it can reach more people, get more brand awareness, but they're not going to put their best steel into it. The steel you see here on these knives, Hinkles uses a steel recipe that's been, I guess, has been perfected over about 280 years is what their claim is. And they use an ice hardening technique that makes their blades even harder and sharper and will hold and retain an edge a lot longer than most other knives out there. They are forged knives and honed and finished by skilled craftsmen at the Hinkles factory. Now they do have a Japanese division. I just realized this. I forgot that when I bought this Santoku. This is a Hinkles Santoku, but it's also Miyabi steel. So I guess Hinkles has a collaboration with Miyabi over in Japan. So this is a Japanese steel Santoku knife, but it is also a Hinkles knife. So you have to, really pay attention to the stuff you're buying. Now, on my channel or on my Amazon store, I have a professional S set out there and a couple other sets available for you, as well as some additional knives. However, if you can find a better price, stay within the same one. Like I said, there's 6 or 7 different models of the Hinkle's knives. Wusthof has their own different lines. Shun has their different line of knives. Same with Global, Miyabi, all these other different places. So you got to find the ones, do your research on these things. I can recommend stuff, but I've only got the Hinkle's to really go by. Wusthof is just as good as Hinkle's. You might find a Wusthof set that's comparable in price, maybe a little bit cheaper, but just make sure that the reviews on it are from people that actually know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. Anybody can go grab a knife. I mean, look, this is a knife from a restaurant supply store. I've had this for years. It's a good knife. It's not the greatest. I wouldn't put it up against these, but it does the job if I need to do something. And if I do screw this up, this was 20 bucks. Not overly worried about it. But this is also a commercial grade. A lot of you people that work in kitchens, or if you've ever seen anybody in the kitchen, they probably have this particular type of knife in their kitchen, and they're okay. All right, you know, they're useful, but they're kind of like what I call throwaway knives. If you want the nicer stuff, you're gonna have to spend the money on it. Now, the sets that I've got in there range from about 350 bucks to maybe just under 1,000. They go a lot higher than that. If you go into the Japanese steel, you're looking at, you know, $800 to $1,800, $2,500 for a set of knives, which, first of all, you don't need that right now. You're not at that level unless you're gonna become get really into cooking and become like this professional, awesome chef and do stuff. You're gonna be fine with a Hinkle set. They're gonna last forever with proper care. And the proper care is making sure whenever you fire up one of your knives here to use, make sure you run it across your steel and just get that blade kind of honed and ready for use. Every few months or so, I'd probably go see about getting them either professionally sharpened, or if you feel like you are good enough to do it yourself, go pick up some kind of a sharpener. I'm not talking about one of those stupid sharpeners you get off of Amazon where you run the blade across. Stay away from those stupid things. These things have a particular angle on them. They're about a 10 to 15 degree angle on each side, adding up to like a 20-degree angle for your knives. And you want to make sure you keep that angle going so you can keep that edge on there nice and sharp. If you go off and grab some crackpot sharpening thing that claims, oh, I'm going to sharpen your knife, you could actually destroy your knives. So stay away from those things. Go get them professionally sharpened. It does not cost that much. You don't have to do it that often. You know, you might, I mean, I said I do it every couple of months. Actually, I think when I went and got them professionally sharpened, I actually waited a couple years before I did that. But I'm always using my steel to just keep the blade honed. Your steel, for instance, does not sharpen your blade. It just hones the actual edge that's already there and gets it ready for your for cutting things. So, getting on with that, check out the stuff I've got on the Amazon store and see what knives might suit you. As far as knife sets, I bought this as a set, but it did not come with this boning knife. It was just these knives here, the steel, and a knife block. There are other knives you want to have, but the most important knives for you to have in your arsenal are going to be an 8-inch chef's knife, some sort of a boning knife, and a paring knife. Those are the 3 most important knives you can have in your kitchen. Those get used the most. Additional knives you're going to want to have down the road are going to be like these utility knives, which come in a medium and a large. And these are great for slicing things, slicing breads, stuff like that. You also have a dedicated serrated edge bread slicer, which is a good knife. And you have a smaller slicer here, which, let me just talk about this real quick. If you have friends that come over to your house and you just spent a lot of money on a set of knives, and one of your idiot friends picks up one of your knives, decides to open it with a can opener, or use it as a can opener, and cracks your blade, somebody owes you a new knife. This is a $90 mistake right here somebody did when they came over here. So get new friends, right? Sharpening steel, definitely want a sharpening steel with any of the knives you get. Most of the kits or the sets will come with these. So moving on from there, we go into the Santoku knives. This is more of a Japanese style version of the chef's knife. And it's got a little bit of a curve on the blade here, a little bit thinner profile, really good for doing some chopping and stuff. But like I said, I have two different ones here. And I don't know if you can tell, but one's really, really nice and one's a piece of crap. The one over here is the real piece of crap. And this is one I picked up for about 15, 20 bucks, and I just kept it around for years in case I needed a throwaway knife or something. But this is garbage. You can feel how it feels garbage. It does not feel comfortable in the hand. Really blocky, and it has really sharp edges on the handle here. The blade is not really that great, but I wanted to show you there are differences in knives, and this is the one you don't want, and this is the one you probably do want. I think I picked this one up at a local cutlery store. It was on sale. I think it was like $160. I think I got it for like $89 on a Christmas sale, which brings me to another point. If you want to get knives and get a nice knife set, we're coming into the holidays now, and that's the best time to start buying stuff because we're going to have fire sales, they're going to have Black Friday sales, all kinds of stuff out there. Amazon will be dropping prices on things, so find stuff you like, add it to your wish list now, and just sit back and watch. See who's got what and what prices are getting close to what you want to spend. If you can save 50 bucks or 100 bucks on a nice knife set, then fantastic, you're ahead of the game. When I bought this set back in 2000 or 2001, I think I paid about $350 for it, which at that time was expensive. This same set now is almost $700 with the knife block. And your knife block is one of these. So find the best bang for the buck, but get quality. It will last you a longer time if you buy a good knife now rather than buying garbage knives. Anywho, back to our thing. 3 main knives you want: chef's knife, boning knife, paring knife. Additional knives we went over: Santoku's. This is a slicer. This is good for I use it for cutting brisket. You can pick these up at any restaurant supply or maybe even Bed Bath & Beyond, but you want the longer version. You don't want the really short. They have shorter ones. The longer one's nice because it allows you to reach across and really get a nice cut on something. And these run about 25, 30 bucks, and they'll last a pretty long time. Easy to sharpen. They stay sharp for a long time, easy to maintain. The other ones here are like just crazy little knives. I like weird stuff, so I picked up a set of cleavers. I bought this at an Asian market, which I think I paid $6, $7 for it, but this thing's actually been pretty good. I've been very happy with this little knife. It's Japanese or Chinese steel, probably most likely, but it's a very good little cleaver, and it's served me well over the years. An upgrade from that was this one from Citadel, and I'm not sure, I guess this might be made in Vietnam. It's more like a forged raw steel. This thing is absolutely insane. If you sharpen and hone this thing with a strop and get it nice and shiny, you could literally shave the hair off your arms with this thing. Very, very nice. Much heavier knife. Nice, good handle on it. It's great for chopping, great for slicing. It's a fantastic knife overall. The last two here were kind of like funny little joke knives that I bought off of Facebook, which I do not recommend buying stuff off of Facebook. These are Serbian. This is a Serbian cleaver. Very weird, strange knife, but I like the shape of it because if I'm cutting something on a cutting board, I'm able to sit there and have this thing sitting right there. I got this nice big wall that my fingers can ride up against when I'm chopping or doing stuff. Very, very cool little knife, extremely sharp. Not the greatest steel in the world. I think we tried cutting something with it and it put a little ding in the blade, which I am going to have a heck of a time getting out. And the last little knife here is just a little, they call it a slicer, but this is more like if you're going to be outdoors and you're going to be, cutting up wild game. That's probably what that knife's probably better for. Anywho, the bottom line is buy the best knives you can afford. If you have to buy them one at a time, if I had to only have one knife in my kitchen, one single knife, it would be an 8-inch chef's knife. This is the knife that's going to get used the most. You can use it for multiple things, but having the different sized blades, different thicknesses of the blades, stuff like that, that's going to really help out and aid you in doing other things in your kitchen. So I wouldn't use this to bone something. I'd grab a boning knife to actually get the bones out of stuff and to actually clean up my meats and stuff. I use this also for like maybe getting rid of fat. If I want to eat something just with precision, go in and get some fat off of a piece of meat, or I'll use this for to get some fat off the bottom of my briskets. There's different little things you use the knives for, and each one has a specific purpose and use. It's not there's no such thing as a one knife fits all. But if your budget only allows for one knife, 8-inch chef's knife is what I think you should go with. Again, guys, take a look around, shop around, be smart about what you're purchasing. Don't buy the most expensive thing because you probably don't need it. It's gonna be more knife than you need. You know, they have what do they have these what is it, the Damascus steel knives. Hey, they look great, but is Better Homes and Gardens coming to your kitchen to watch you cook? Probably not. So unless you just really have the extra money to blow and you really like the Damascus look of, the look of Damascus steel, I wouldn't spend the money on it. You're better off going with a proven, long-term type of common knife. And I'm saying the Hinkles, Wusthof are probably your best bets as far as the top 2 brands I'd recommend to keep it within a certain budget without going over into the crazy world, which we start getting to Shun, Miyabi, and Global and things like that. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm show my video to more people who are into YouTube videos about cooking. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Click on the little bell and be notified when I do new videos. Until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Scott. This is The Fear of Cooking, and we'll see you soon.